Hello, 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 everyone. I hope you guys are doing well. So I posted on the community section of my channel earlier today that I'd be doing a live stream at 4:30 p.m. today, Eastern Daylight Time. According to my clock, it's about 4:25 p.m. Figured I'd just go ahead and start now. Give people some time to get in if they want to come in. But even though none of you are in here yet, I sincerely hope that you guys are doing well. Hope you're doing well. Hope everything is good in your world. Just saw a couple of people hop in here. There's a message in the chat. Hello. 3 people now. Raise the roof. We got 3 concurrent viewers, only 50 seconds in. That's like already orders of magnitude better than my last stream last Tuesday. It took me like 11 minutes just to get it, like 1 damn viewer. But the message in the chat says it's from Sanjay Krishna. It says, "Hi, sir." Hello, Sanjay. I hope you're doing well. How are you? How are you doing? Doing well, I hope. I hope you're doing well. To the other 2 people in here, I also hope you're doing well. Feel free to type a message in the chat. Do whatever you want. Ask me a question. Just make a statement. Tell me how you're doing. Tell me what's going on in your world. Whatever you want to talk about. I'm your man. Last Tuesday, I did a stream. I was talking about, got a lot of chemistry questions, which was really good because before that stream, I would get a lot of questions about like non-chemistry related topics, which I'm happy to answer those questions too. I honestly just like to have questions in general, just to get stuff to talk about because I can't always, I'm not really super original, I guess, and I can't always just pull out a subject to talk about. And I also do these streams, you know, kind of off the cuff, so I don't really prepare much for them ahead of time. I just kind of get in my car and do them. So I always like to have questions, but it was a nice sort of treat last week because I got a lot of questions that were related to chemistry, which is really cool. One of them was about how to learn organic chemistry effectively, and I really liked that discussion so much that I took a clip of it and uploaded it. So that was really cool. So that's the kind of thing that I'm into. Sanjay says, "Fine, sir." Cool. Very good. Very good. Glad to hear you're doing well. Looks like you might be the only one in here now, unless you were one of the ones who left, because according to my screen, there's only 1 viewer in here. I guess I shouldn't be too hard on myself, however. Almost 3 minutes in. Plenty of time for more people to join. I do sort of have an interesting story, something that happened late last week, but I do kind of want to wait for a couple more people to get in here before I start telling the story. It was about something that happened at work. Nothing bad or anything like that. It was actually pretty good. Pretty good. I was sort of given an opportunity to do something at work, and I was given a very, very short time frame in which to do it, but I think I did a pretty good job, and I've been getting a lot of good feedback from it. So somebody hopped in here and then hopped right out. Oh, looks like there's somebody in here again. Hello. Hello to all, or I should say both of you. Oh, that person left. Number is back to 1. I need to improve my audience retention somehow. Figure out how to do that. To the 1 viewer that's in here, I don't know if it's Sanjay or somebody else, but to the 1 viewer that's in here, what do you think I could do to improve my audience retention? Do you think I should like stream myself playing chess or something? Should I do something, I don't know, should I stream myself playing a game of some kind? Gaming is tough because it's just hard to interact with it's hard for me to sort of interact with people who are chatting while focusing on a video game at the same time. You think like that doesn't look like something that would be hard, someone who's like performing at a high level playing a video game while also talking to people in the chat. That sounds, at least when in my experience, that looks like something that's pretty easy, but when you actually try to do it, it's like, damn, this isn't really as easy as I thought it was. Peace and Love is in here, says hi. Hello, Peace and Love, hope you're doing well. Oh, Kai's in here too. Kai says, hey, hello. Hello, hello. How are you guys doing? I hope you're doing fantabulously. Not a word, but I just use it anyway because I don't give a shit. the only subject that I really care about enough to be super proper with calling things by their proper names and using the correct words is chemistry. Everything else, English, grammar, all that stuff, I don't really care about. I say the word ain't all the time because it's like, I don't care if it's, grammatically correct or not. People still know what I mean. I end sentences with prepositions all the time, because I don't care. People still know what I mean, right? You ever have those people in your life that are just always sort of ready to pounce on you and correct you for just the slightest little thing? They're pretty exhausting people to deal with. And, I have a confession to make. For a time, I was kind of like that. Although I know people who are a lot worse about, always having to correct others than I ever was. But those people are just really, really exhausting to deal with. If you guys ever have any experiences with people like that are always like looking to, correct others and, always looking to sort of shout out to the world how smart they are and how proper they are. It's like, ugh, just give me a freaking break. Save it. I'm not impressed. Opposite of impressed. What's the opposite of impressed? It's not depressed because that means something totally different. I guess unimpressed, right? I'm unimpressed by people who try to correct people all the time. Sanjay says, sir, what is meant by Zwitterion? So a Zwitterion is basically like one chemical species, one molecule that has some sort of electric charge on it, but in two different places. So like two different atoms that have a charge. So the classic example of a Zwitterion would be something like your, one of your 20 standard amino acids, depending on the acidity or alkalinity of the environment around them. You might have an amino group that's charged, and also the carboxylic acid group that also has a negative charge. So that's what a Zwitterion is. Good question. Good question. And you'll also see that sort of topic pop up again, Zwitterions. There's one particular intermediate in a very common reaction known as the Wittig reaction. It's a pretty common, very popular, organic chemistry mechanism, and there's like a Zwitterion sort of intermediate that's used in a Wittig reaction. So good question. Love it. Good stuff. Kai says unimpressed. Yeah, that's the opposite of impressed. I thought so. Kai says that is neutral, both positive and negative charge present on the compound, e.g. amino acid. Yeah, good job. Good job. I like how people in the chat are answering each other's questions. It's not just me answering everybody's questions. That's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. E.g. amino acid titration. Yeah, good stuff, man. So Kai, if I'm not mistaken, you're med school bound, aren't you? Isn't that what you said? You're applying for med school. That's pretty exciting. Good for you. Good for you, man. Man or woman? I'm guessing you're a dude, but I don't think I've ever asked what sex you are. But I'm assuming you're a dude, unless you tell me otherwise. Anyway. All right, so I got sort of 4 people in here right now. So a little bit of an announcement to make with regard to the channel and the live streams specifically. So for the first time starting now, I have enabled Superchats, which honestly, I'm not even sure how necessary Superchats are, because I don't really have a whole lot of people typing out or sending chat messages one after the other, making it difficult to read or keep up with. I think Super Chats are probably more, Kai just sent me something funny. I'm going to read it, but let me, damn it, Kai, let me finish this point. I think Super Chats are probably more appropriate for, streamers that have like a very, very active chat where the messages are constantly flying around and you can't keep up. But nonetheless, I've enabled Super Chats on here. So the way that Super Chats work is you donate a little bit of money if you want to. You attach a message to it, and then that Super Chat message sort of gets pinned to the top of the chat, and it stays there for a little while. And the duration that it stays there depends on how much you donate. I don't know what the scale is. I don't know if it's like $1 is 30 seconds, or I don't really know how it works. I've just enabled it for the first time, just rolling it out. But if anybody wanted to send me a Super Chat, of course, I would wholeheartedly appreciate it. Apparently, the YouTube interface makes it really easy for people who are interested in sending super chats to send super chats. So yeah, if you are interested, if you want to kick me a little bit of monetary appreciation for the content that I provide, by all means, please. I would really, really appreciate your super chats. Okay, so the funny message that Kai sent was, "Are you assuming my gender?" And assuming is in the derpy sort of alternating caps. And then Kai says, "Just kidding. I'm a straight male. Yes, med school bound." Cool, cool, man. Very cool. Very exciting. Very exciting stuff. Only 3 viewers in here. Had as many as 5, but I guess the other 2 were like, "Screw this guy. I'm out of here." Can't say that I blame him. I'm just a dude in a car. So I'll sort of float the question to you guys again. What sort of things do you think I could do in my live streams to sort of improve my retention? So like someone jumps in here, they see a dude in a car talking, people are inclined to say, "Oh, this isn't interesting, I'm going to leave." What do you guys think I could be doing? One person in my Discord, I guess maybe even like over a month ago now, suggested that I play chess. I think that's a really good idea. I would like to be able to do that. But it's difficult. It's difficult to do live streaming at home for me, because at home I've got my daughter, and she's always sort of poking around, trying to get in the mix, and she wants my attention, and if I'm streaming I can't really give her my undivided attention, and that really frustrates her. I got my wife who's like 34 weeks pregnant or something like that, like very, very pregnant. And so she, she's trying to keep up with my daughter on her own. It's difficult for her to do that. She gets winded pretty easily trying to keep up with what my daughter's doing, whether she's like, running around or getting into something she shouldn't be getting into or what have you. So doing live streams from home it's a challenge. That's why I kind of do these in my car. Like, if I get off work early, I just hop in the car and just do a live stream and talk to you guys. But the cost associated with that, or the problem with that, is it's just not that engaging. It's not that interesting. It's not that fun to watch. I think what would make it better, what would make it more interesting, number one, is to have, a good topic, something that can really ignite the conversation. I would really, and that's where, I would appreciate you guys coming in and bringing up something that you wanted to talk about, either a question that you want to ask, or a statement that you want to make, or a topic that you want to discuss, chemistry or otherwise, something interesting. That would be cool. That would be cool, and I would certainly appreciate it. But the other thing that I sort of wanted to announce today, so the first thing that I announced was that I have enabled super chats. Anybody who's interested in sending me a super chat, please, by all means, do so. That'd be amazing. I'd certainly appreciate it. Paying for all the content that I voluntarily, of course, paying for all the content that I've worked very, very, very hard to produce over the last decade or so. And the other announcement is that I have purchased some equipment. It's actually just one sort of gooseneck stand thing that will allow me to sort of make old school videos. And by old school videos, I'm talking about doing content sort of the way that I used to do it, where it was like a camera pointing downward at a piece of paper or a whiteboard, and it would be, my hands sort of, writing things, drawing atoms, solving equations by hand, things like that. And then you would hear sort of my voice sort of talking through it, everything sort of done concurrently. And the reason why I want to go back to doing this old school way of doing my videos, ideally I would like to keep doing what I've been doing, which is, having the green screen behind me, and it has like some music over it, and everything's, sort of produced really well. And then there's like a lot of images popping in or fading in, or spotlights and things like that. I would love to keep doing that. And I certainly intend to do more videos like that in the future. However, with the birth of my second daughter coming up so soon, and all these things on my to-do list that I haven't quite finished yet, I don't really have the free time to go in and build my studio. And by the way, I know I've said this before, but it's relevant, so I'll say it again. I don't have like a dedicated studio in my house. When I want to shoot a video, I have to go in, I have to sort of build my studio. I have to, collect all the raw footage for my video, maybe take a couple of thumbnail images, in front of the green screen. And then once I'm done shooting the video, I take everything down and put it all away. Don't have a dedicated studio because that kind of adds to the production time. And then of course editing just takes forever. So I think that in the interim of time in which I just simply don't have the free time to build my studio and shoot and edit and all that stuff, I would like to still provide chemistry content. And so what I got was one of those sort of like gooseneck phone things. I could stand it up freestanding. I could put it sort of around my neck to mount my phone to it and have it pointing down so that I can, sort of do chemistry problems and things like that and just kind of talk to the viewer through the problem or the lesson or whatever. So please, definitely keep your eyes peeled. Stay tuned for that because those videos are coming basically as soon as I can make them. And I should be able to bang them out pretty quick because, it'll be probably just one continuous take. I won't have to do any jump cuts. There might be a lot of stuttering or ums or whatever, but yeah, it'll probably just be one continuous take, and then there won't be any music. There won't be any, digitized sort of, images that I create to put in there, annotations, things like that, text. I won't have to do any of that. It'll all just be written by hand, and I'll be able to upload it really, really quick. So Gaurav Kumar says, hello, sir, followed by a message that says, have you ever seen ghost in your life? No, I have not. Nope. Can't say that I have. But interesting question. Out of all the questions you could have asked, you go with the one about superstition. Have I ever seen a ghost? Nope. But I mean, I'm just to answer your question seriously. No, I've never seen a ghost in my life, and I'm assuming I probably never will. But reminds me of that stupid Ghost Hunters show. Oh my God, what is that? They just have like a night vision camera and they just say, what is that? Did you hear that? Just say that kind of stuff repeatedly. There was an episode of South Park where they ripped on it pretty hard. I thought it was pretty funny. But I don't know. I mean, I'll ask you guys, do you think that, sort of that old school style of just a camera pointing down, at just my hands, with paper or the whiteboard or whatever, just sort of talking to the viewer, not showing my face, just one continuous take. Do you guys think that would be a valuable thing to put out there? Because, unfortunately, that's about all that I have time for nowadays, and probably about all that I will have time for, in the, near future, in the first, probably like at least 3 months of my daughter's life. Garuv says, I have seen right now outside my house. Very interesting. Take a photo of it or a video of it and send it to me. I'd love to see that. 6 viewers, what's up? I really love and appreciate all 6 of you. If you guys want to chime in and bring up any other topics other than ghosts, then I would appreciate, I would definitely appreciate that. Certainly don't want to just talk about ghosts all day long. Jur, I don't know if that's a name I should be reading out loud. That name just seems like a name that if I read it, I might be saying something. I'll just call you Jur, J-E-R. Jur says Biden or Trump. I don't know, man. I don't really like talking about politics. I just don't like the idea of like government in general. Because you think about like, what is the government? The government is just a minority of individuals who claim the right to initiate the use of force against all of the other citizens, the majority of citizens within a certain geographical area. So I just try to tune politics out as much as possible. I'm just a real anti-government kind of guy. I mean, my sort of ideal society is so far away from Republican or Democrat. So honestly, like these elections and things like that, they don't really mean much to me. But yeah, I mean, my ideal society would be stateless, would be without a government. Now, I understand that, you can't just rip out the government from under people overnight. There's a lot of people who are dependent on it, and the government is, involved in a lot of things. They're not really like an official on the sideline. They're like an actual player in the game. when it comes to like economics and social policy and stuff like that. But my sort of ideal society that I would like to sort of work toward would be to have a society without a coercive, overbearing authority. And there's actually some books on this. There's a lot of books on, you know, what a stateless society sort of might look like, what a society without a government might look like, and sort of how you know, problems like a national defense or roads, or, you know, anything that, you know, traditionally the government has you know, taken care of, and I use that in air quotes because the government does a shitty job at just about everything it does. Look at the education system, look at the national debt, look at the unfunded liabilities, look at the VA, look at the infrastructure, this and that. I mean, the list goes on and on and on. You know, arming our enemies and shit. Like, it's just ridiculous what they've done. Like that Fast and Furious thing. Did you guys hear about that one where they actually sold guns to the Mexican drug cartels that had tracking devices in them, and that's how they were going to try to take down the cartel by selling them automatic weapons? And then, oh my God, surprise, surprise, these automatic weapons were actually used to kill American journalists. Of course, you dumbass. You sold them guns, all in the name of, you know, security, all in the name of good, right? But anyway, I kind of just went on a little rant right there. I mean, the question was Biden or Trump, but yeah, I mean, I don't know. I just don't like politics, man. I just don't like politics. Some of the memes that I've seen have been really interesting, though. Some of the memes. There was a meme that I saw around Easter, and it was a picture of Joe Biden smiling, and it was on Easter Sunday, and the meme said, "Merry Christmas." Oh, man, because, you know, he's got, like, dementia and all that, which, yeah, honestly, like, I shouldn't be laughing about that. Like, dementia is really serious, and, you know, I just think it's sad that, you know, instead of, like, enjoying the last few years of your life, you know, and you're trying to enjoy as much of it as you can, you sort of, you know, you're kind of propped up by these people to, like, get in front of these cameras and do these speeches, and, you know, there's definitely something wrong. There's definitely something wrong with the amount of sort of, I can think I call them gaffes, G-A-F-F-E, the amount of gaffes that I've seen from Biden. There's something wrong upstairs with that guy, and honestly, like, all jokes aside, it's, you know, I think it's sad, and it's also kind of messed up that they're kind of putting that much pressure on that kind of guy who's, you know, clearly got a problem. So, as a person, you know, outside of politics and stuff like that, you know, honestly, I hope for the best for him. But yeah, I don't think someone in that condition should be in that kind of position. A couple other questions in the chat. Are you interested in space mysteries? I don't know what you mean by space mysteries. Do you mean, am I interested in, you know, part of the, you know, like the part of the universe that hasn't been observed yet? Sure, you know, yeah, that'd be cool to learn more about that. Gaurav says, or Sanjay says, Gaurav, are you from another YouTube channel? Okay, so just people in the chat talking to each other. But yeah, so there's a couple more people in here now, so I'll go ahead and reiterate my couple of announcements. For those of you who have been here from the beginning, I apologize for being repetitive, but the first announcement that I wanted to make is that I have now enabled Super Chats. So for those of you who don't know what Super Chats are, they are chat messages that you attach to a donation. You donate a little bit of money, you attach a chat message to it, and that chat message gets pinned at the top of the chat, and it stays there for a duration of time that is proportional to the amount of money donated. So for instance, actually, I can't even say for instance, because I don't know how like what the intervals are. But there's just a cool way to sort of, I guess, like tip the streamer, you know, to, you know, and also put your message at the top of the chat. Obviously not super necessary given the volume of chat that I have, because like a lot of people I've seen with Super Chats, the regular chats, just, you know, messages are just flying from bottom to top really, really fast. And so that's when Super Chats become particularly more important. I'd love to have that kind of viewership and volume one of these days, but, you know, we're just not there yet. I'm not sure if I'll ever be there, to be honest. But yeah, Super Chats have now been enabled. So if you're feeling charitable, if you're feeling like sort of reciprocating all the hard work that I've done to provide the content over the last decade, please feel free to send one. I would wholeheartedly appreciate it. And the other announcement is that I'm going to go back to making old school chem videos where it's just a camera sort of pointing down at my hands, and I'll be using a whiteboard or a piece of paper with markers or something like that, you know, doing lessons, solving problems, solving equations, you know, banging problems out, things like that. Those are the kind of videos that I'm going to produce, hopefully in the near future. And the reason why is because that's about all the time that I have. I don't really have time to produce a video that has any like higher production quality and time spent editing and stuff like that than that. So keep an eye out for those videos. I would love to get your feedback, and I would love to know if you think that's a good idea or not. Should I even do old school videos? Some of my old school videos were received very, very well. Like for instance, my molecular orbital theory playlist was shot using that style of video making back when I was in college, and you know, from looking at the views and the like percentage and stuff like that, it seems like people actually enjoyed that content or they found it useful or whatever. So, but I would love to know what you guys think. Sanjay Krishnan says, "Sir, why can you start Instagram Live instead of YouTube?" Oh, I don't know. I have a lot more YouTube subscribers than I have Instagram followers. I'm not even sure. You know, my screen says there's 5 people in here right now. I bet that at least one of the 5 people in here don't even know that I even have an Instagram. But yeah, I have like a very, very small number of Instagram followers. I only started my Instagram, you know, like maybe a month or 2 ago. So, and I don't promote it super heavily. But you know, if you guys wanted to follow, I'd certainly appreciate it. You can find the link to my Instagram if you just go to my YouTube channel page, youtube.com/benschemvideos with no apostrophe. At the top of that channel page, there is a banner image that says Ben's Chem Videos. At the bottom right-hand corner of that banner, you'll see links to Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and my Discord. So if anybody wants to follow me on any of those platforms, I would wholeheartedly appreciate it. And yeah, you know, like Instagram Live, I'm certainly not above doing that. I'd love to do it. It's just, you know, there's not a lot of people that are going to get notified relative, you know, compared to my YouTube channel. There's just not a lot of people that they're going to get notified whenever I start an Instagram live stream. I'll basically just be talking to myself. I'd probably have more reach yelling out the window of my car. So yeah, I'd love to do that, but I'm going to wait until I get a bigger following on Instagram. Probably going to be a while. The growth has been very, very slow. Good question, though. Very good question. Squiggly line, whatever. I don't even know what font that is. I'll just call you Squiggly. Squiggly says hello. Hello, Squiggly. I hope you're doing really, really well. How are you? I would love to know how you are doing. And to those of you who have just recently joined, thank you for coming. As always, y'all are welcome to type in the chat, send me a message, anything that you want to talk about. And now that super chats are enabled, your super chats would be more than welcome too. Whoever sends me the first super chat, how about this? Whoever sends me the first super chat, I will shout you out personally and feature you. That would be cool. So whoever wants to win the race and send me the very, very first super chat that I've ever received. Think about it, man. I've been doing this for like 10 years and I've never received any super chats. We're making history here. We're making history. Elmer's Mind Games says howdy. Howdy right back to you, Elmer's Mind Games. Thank you for having me in the stream. I think your name used to be Another View. Is that right? Trying to remember you guys. Kai asks, who is the next YouTuber you are collaborating with? That's a good question. That's a good question. You know, there's only a couple of viewers in here, so I think I could probably leak this publicly without having too many, you know, damaging consequences. But there's a YouTuber that's a little smaller than I am, at least by subscribers, maybe even by views too. And her name is Miss Beautyfile, and she does videos about like the science behind cosmetic products. So for instance, she has a video about like sunscreen and what SPF means and what broad spectrum means, and you know, she just sort of breaks down the whole science behind sunscreen and all that stuff, sunblock. So she has a really cool sort of channel. I'll see if I can type. I don't know if I can type as the streamer. Can I type in the chat? I don't even know if I can. I honestly don't know if I can. How do I type in the chat? I don't think I can. Wow, what a bummer. What is this? I can put a color filter on here, but I can't type in the chat. That's not cool. Man, YouTube needs to allow the streamer, when they're streaming from a phone, to type in the chat. I was going to type her name in the chat, her channel name, but it's MS and then BEAUTY Beauty File, PHILE, Miss Beauty File. Oh, look at that. George Michael just sent a super chat of $1. Congratulations to you, George Michael. You have sent me the first super chat ever. Thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you so much. I really, really wholeheartedly appreciate it. You guys want to piggyback off of that? That would be nice. Not going to put too much pressure on. You're not under any obligation. My videos will always be free, or at least on a pay what you like basis. But nonetheless, George Michael, I do appreciate you for sending me that super chat. You know, George Michael, was that a chat or a sticker that you sent? You know, because like there's like super chats and then there's like super stickers. I don't really know what the difference is, but George Michael sent me like what looks like a super chat, but I don't see a chat message. It's just $1. I guess that dollar speaks for itself. Thanks, man. And Kai just sent a super chat of $2, says testing super chats. Thank you, Kai. You rock. I wish you the very best of luck in your pursuit of your doctoral degree. By the way, Kai, I would love to know, what area of medicine do you intend to practice? Do you tend to be like a general primary care doctor? And if you answered this already, and if I asked you this already, I apologize for not remembering. Not everything sticks with me very well. But yeah, do you intend on becoming like a surgeon, or like a general doctor, or, you know, like a podiatrist or a psychiatrist, or a, you know, a proctologist, you know, working on people's butts? What do you plan on doing, man? I'd love to know. You could be a, I don't know, what's a cool type of doctor? A dermatologist? You just work on people's skin? Like a Dr. Pimple Popper. It's a very interesting sort of show. I don't know if you've ever seen that. It's pretty, I don't know, it's just fascinating to watch that kind of stuff. I'll be honest, I'm intrigued by it. George Michael says, I just farted. Well, God bless you, sir. I'm wondering why you didn't send the I just farted as the super chat. That would have been hilarious, because then like the chat, like the pinned chat message, the super chat would be like your I just farted message would be, it would stay up there for a given period of time. So, oh, big question from Elmer's Mind Game says, have you heard of that documentary / drama, The Social Dilemma? A friend recommended I watch it. It's pretty much about its damage to society and how data is exploited. Sounds interesting. No, I've never heard of that, but that sounds really, really good. What, Elmer's Mind Games, if you could tell me what platform is that documentary on? Is it on Netflix? Is it on like Hulu? Is it on Prime? If you could tell me what platform, what streaming platform that documentary, The Social Dilemma, is on, I would love to watch it. He says it's on Netflix. Yeah, I'm definitely going to check that out. Hopefully, if I have some time, I'll watch it tonight, and then the next time I stream, we can talk about it. That'd be really cool, I think. Kai says orthopedics, but I can settle for general surgery or internal medicine. Right on, man. Right on. Good luck to you, man. I know med school won't be easy. Kanishka Ratnayak, that's my best attempt at pronouncing your name. I apologize for butchering it. Says hi. Hello, Kanishka. Very, very glad to have you in the stream. George Michael says, yeah, I don't know why it didn't let me write anything. Oh, so that's weird. So George Michael attempted to attach an I just farted message to a super chat. However, it did not let him write anything. I'm going to have to figure that out. Uthpala Sarazgi. I am so sorry. I'm not really good at pronouncing these names. It says, can you do a video about X-ray diffraction? Yeah, maybe I could. Maybe I could. Honestly, like my initial inclination is that I won't be making a video on that for quite some time, because, you know, I want to prioritize content that more people will be able to use. And X-ray diffraction is kind of something that, well, first of all, I would have to sort of look it up and refresh myself on X-ray diffraction and how it works and how to interpret a diffractogram and stuff like that. We use X-ray diffraction here at my job, although we send our samples out to get analyzed via X-ray diffraction, so I don't actually have to like necessarily interpret it myself, or at least not yet. So first of all, I'd have to dig and do some research and sort of, rejuvenate or refresh, my own knowledge on X-ray diffraction. And secondly, I'm just not sure how many people, if there'd be a lot of people who would want to see a video on that. It's kind of a niche thing. Not a lot of people, it's kind of an advanced thing, I'm trying to do stuff that's can appeal to as many people as possible first, and then later, after I'm done with that content, then I can sort of, make some of those niche things. Like one thing, for instance, one thing that I've always wanted to sort of do a video about is like inorganic chemistry stuff, like symmetry, like point groups and symmetry operations, like the E and the C operation and the the I operation, the inversion, the improper rotation, which I think is S. I can't remember what all the symmetry operations are. Most people probably don't know what the hell I'm talking about because they never had to take inorganic chemistry, but that's what I'm talking about. As much as like I find those subjects really, really interesting and challenging and stimulating, there's just not a lot of people who want to learn about it because, very few people have to take like inorganic chemistry, for instance. But it was a good class. Inorganic chemistry was a good class. I enjoyed it. After getting bombarded with 2 semesters of organic chemistry and doing undergraduate research related to organic chemistry, it was nice to learn some inorganic chemistry. It was pretty cool. But I hope that the answer to your question doesn't disappoint you. But the honest truth is that I probably won't be making an X-ray diffraction video anytime soon. If you ever wanted to get in a Discord call or something like that and talk about it, one-on-one, that would be, assuming I have the time to do it, I would, that's not a deal breaker. I'd like to do that. But I just don't see myself making a video on that anytime soon. George Michael says, yeah, Orgo was my favorite chemistry too. Yeah, organic, I don't know. I don't know what about it. I don't know what it is about organic chemistry or just chemistry in general that I like. Do you ever ask yourself that question? It's like, why do I like the stuff that I like? I don't know. I mean, the best answer that I can come up with as to why I personally like chemistry is because, as even from a young age, I've always been interested in things like, like symmetry, mathematics, things being ordered, logical thinking, one leading to the next, objectivity, right or wrong, black and white. Like I've always been sort of interested in that. Like I'm not really interested in never really been interested in subjectivity. Like, oh, it's just a matter of opinion or relativity. I highly reject relativism in almost every sort of, obviously there's no such thing as scientific relativism. That would just kind of ruin the point of science by definition. But also things like moral relativism. I reject moral relativism too. It's like, oh, okay, these people over in, Yemen are marrying, 8-year-old girls, but that we can't say that that's wrong because it's their culture. It's like, no, dude. Like 8-year-old girl, someone who is obviously not an adult, not capable of voluntarily consenting to a sexual transaction. That's just wrong, Anyway, I'm kind of going off on a tangent there. But let's see. Squiggly Line asks, do you have a PhD? Good question. The answer is no. I do not have a PhD, nor do I intend to get one. I have a bachelor's degree, and I just work. I just work. And luckily, we actually had a meeting about this. Some of the other chemists and I, and some of the managers and stuff, we had a meeting about this in my company about like what it's like to be a bachelor's level chemist. And if you're a bachelor's level chemist, are you hamstrung? Like, is there a ceiling that you can't reach over unless you like go on to get a master's or PhD? And the upshot of that meeting was no. Like, even if you're just a bachelor's level chemist and you don't have a PhD, like you could work your way all the way up to management if you have the commensurate level of experience as somebody who has a PhD. So yeah, in my mind, it's not necessary. I don't want to work like 80, 90 hours a week in a lab just to get a stipend for, however many years until my project gets done. I want to enjoy these years of my life. I just turned 30, so I want to enjoy my early 30s. I want to enjoy my time spent with my 2-year-old daughter, and I want to enjoy my time spent with my almost newborn daughter. And to me, like, the pursuit of a PhD is for people who, like, that's their life. And chemistry, as much as I love it, it's just not my life as much as my family is, if that makes sense. Like, it's such a lower priority than my family. Like, my family, it's not even a close second, it's a distant second. Chemistry, career, this and that is a distant second. My family will always come first in my priority list. So yeah, I know that's a long answer for do I have a PhD or not, but yeah. So Twiggly Line says, okay, at least do a MSc. Yeah, I don't intend to. I don't really see the point. I make a decent amount of money at my job. My expenses are low. I kind of like, just where I'm at in my company right now, just working my way up from the bottom. Things are going pretty good. Elmer's Mind Game says, that's really refreshing to hear. Seems like being married to the job is all too common and expected. Yeah, I mean, some people enjoy being married to their job. Some people enjoy, their job. Some people enjoy living to work. There's two. I mean, obviously there's a whole spectrum of possibilities, but you have basically two extremes within that continuum. You have, I live to work, meaning, my job is my baby. I get up, I get off on it, I go there, I just do it. I work long hours, I travel, I work weekends and this and that. And then there's the other side of the coin where it's you work to live. You work so that you can make enough money and enough resources to afford to do the things that you like doing when you're not working. And I'm more toward the working to live side than I am toward the living to work side, because in my mind, family is the top priority. And if you think about it, from a purely biological sort of point of view, as animals, as biological organisms, our job is to propagate the species. Our job is to propagate our genetics into the next generation and beyond. And so, all of this stuff about, like career and success and money and this and that, it's kind of all bullshit. Well, maybe not so much money, because you need like resources to be able to like, raise your children and, propagate your genetics that way. But, all this like career and status and this and that is kind of all bullshit. Like from a biological point of view, it's like at the end of the day, biologically, our only objective is to make more people. And, I've made two. One of them is going to be born in a couple of weeks. And that's it. Some people say one and done. For my wife and I, it's 2 and through. So we're going to, have our little family of 4. Okay, 5 if you include the dog. And that's what it is. But yeah, family's so much more important than work, man, in my opinion. In my opinion. George Michael says you're the GOAT. I don't know about that. But I do appreciate the compliment. So thank you. So yeah, I don't really intend on furthering my education. I would think it would be cool though if I got enough support, if my channel blew up enough. I think it would be cool to like be a sort of a work from home dad, like a stay-at-home dad, and do my YouTube videos at the same time I'm raising my children. Like, I think that would be like an amazing thing. Like, that's the thing. Like, I don't even really need like a traditional career to feel fulfilled. Like, if my wife made like 6 figures at a job and she went out to work and earned 6 figures, I would happily be a stay-at-home dad. Like, I don't care about traditional like roles and stuff like that. Like, obviously, the woman, has breast milk and the man doesn't. So that's kind of an innate sort of biological, difference between us. But like, outside of that, if my wife, like brought in a bunch of bread, then I don't need a career to be fulfilled. Like, I really just want to make sure my daughters are raised well, to think critically and all that stuff. Kanishka says, working to live, that's good, but where's the hunger for something new? I experience something new all the time. I used to have an infant, now I have a toddler, which comes with a whole new set of possibilities and challenges. So like when you have kids, like you don't even really have to like seek out something new, because just them getting older and experiencing new things And, you know, having, like I said, it coming with its own unique set of experiences and observations and challenges. Like, something new is just perpetually happening all the time. Like, for instance, my daughter is like learning like new words every single day. Like, I mean, she's known the words for a long time, but she's like being able to say these new words like every day. It's crazy. Every time I come home from work, it's like, oh yeah, she can say a new word now. It's like, it just blows my mind. So craving something new, I mean, you know, at home, there's something new happening all the time. And if you're talking about work, well, I mean, I'm always working on a new project, learning a new technique. I mean, you know, even within the same job, like, you can still, like, you know, it's not like I used to work as an extraction technician where it was like literally the same all the time. I would go in, I would do the same shit. I was basically doing work that robots will be doing in a decade or less. And yeah, that job is so mindless, and you can feel your brain sort of decaying away, and you don't experience anything new. But in my current job, you know, I get assigned to new projects all the time, and so I'm constantly switching it up and doing things that are new. So I reject the idea that I have to pursue a PhD or a master's degree just to experience something new. Because I get new stuff, new novelties sort of in my life all the time, you know, either at work and especially at home with my kids. So, but I appreciate the question though. Really, really good question. Thank you. Thank you very much. So for those of you who have just hopped in here recently, I'll go ahead and repeat my couple of announcements that I had. Super chats are now enabled. If you wanted to send one, I would wholeheartedly appreciate it. Obviously not a big deal, you don't have to, but if you want to, if you're in a charitable givey type of mood, you're welcome to shoot one my way, and it would be wholeheartedly appreciated. The other announcement is that pretty soon I'm going to go back to doing my old school way of producing videos, which has a camera sort of pointing down in my hands, and you know, sort of me just talking, not showing my face, but just talking to the viewer through the lesson as I'm solving equations or drawing molecules or, you know, banging out problems or doing mechanisms or whatever. Let me know what you think about that. The reason behind that is, once again, because I have such a limited amount of free time lately that that's just about all that I have the time for. But I still want to provide chemistry content, even though I have a baby coming almost any moment now. And I'm surprised, you know, it'd be funny if my mom, that'd be weird. It'd be funny, God, it'd be funny if my wife just called me up like, hey, I'm going into labor. You know, like right now on stream, I'd be like, oh shit, just live stream the birth of my daughter. I'm sure my wife would appreciate that. Just kidding, not going to do that. But I don't know, maybe I'll do a live stream like, you know, shortly after my daughter's born. I think that'd be kind of cool. So the two announcements are that super chats are enabled, and if you and I'm going to be doing old school sort of, you know, content that I used to do like back when I was in college, like 2010, 11, things like that. So stay tuned for that. Squiggly Line says, are you doing any sports? I don't know what you mean. Like, do I play sports? Not a whole lot lately. Basketball is my favorite sport to play. It's also like the sport that I'm the best at. I mean, I'm not saying I'm the best basketball player, but what I'm saying is that I'm better at basketball than I am at just about any other sport. So I like to play when I can, but you know, it's hard to find the free time, especially, you know, my wife, she's like super freaking pregnant. She needs help raising the kids. And so I'm you know, I have like a bunch of home projects that I'm working on. Still haven't completed my damn shower. So I did just finish my kitchen though. I just like redid my cabinet doors. I painted them a new color. I put new hardware, like new handles, little knobs on them. So I redid my kitchen. It looks really good. But yeah, I don't really play any sports. And as far as like professional sports go, like I really kind of tune them out, because all this like, you know, woke, like super lefty social justice shit, I'm not really into it. I mean, it's one thing if you actually have reason and evidence behind your claims that you're making, but clearly they don't, and they're clearly unwilling to accept any sort of criticism or critical questioning of their positions, you know, or pressing them to back their claims up with facts. So professional sports, I'm just not into them. I just, you know, I like to watch sports just to watch sports. Like, I don't want to hear all this political shit. Like, if I wanted to watch that, I'd watch like Fox News or CNN. You know, I don't watch those things because I'm not really into politics. I go to sports to escape that, but now I can't even do that apparently. Can't even escape it with sports. And, you know, and the ratings are like really low for all these sports too. So I know I'm not the only person who shares that opinion. Hearst G 3214 just said, hey Ben, your vids got me through AP Chem and made it so that I didn't even need to go to lecture in college chem. I aced every chem class, by the way. Thank you so much. Wow, that is so impressive, man. So are you telling me that you scored so high on your AP chemistry exam that you were able to like bypass chemistry, general chemistry in college? Like you were able to, I think that, what's the term, like clept out of it or whatever? Like you got, I think that's how it was when I was in high school. It was like, if you scored a 3, it was like a scale from 3 to 5. 0, 1, and 2, I don't think anybody gets a 0, but 1 and 2 is failing, and then C is passing, or C is passing, 3 is passing. So 1 and 2 are failure, 3 is passing, and you can get out of like Gen Chem 1. And then if you get like a 4 or 5, I think you can get out of like General Chem 1 and 2, because when you go into college after passing that AP exam, it's assumed that you're already good on chemistry. And so that's actually cool, because if you don't have to take chemistry, you know, like not having to take another college class, like getting credit for it without having to do it is great, because you don't have to pay like all this tuition and shit to get that. Hirsch said, I was given the choice to skip because I got a 5. Wow, man, that is awesome. Kudos to you, man. To be fair, I didn't skip because I knew chem would be an easy A. Haha, like a boss, man. Dude, I am so proud of you, man. Congratulations. Congratulations. And thanks for the kudos, dude. I really, really appreciate it. Really, really appreciate your feedback, man. I'm so happy that things are going well for you. You know, this is why I do this stuff, you know. I mean, I've been on this stream for 51 minutes. I've collected only $3 worth of super chats. I probably won't even see all that. I'm sure YouTube will take a big cut. So obviously not making a lot of money from it, but first of all, to those of you who have sent super chats, thank you so much for sending them. I love you guys. Mwah! But to those of you who haven't, it's all good. And to those of you who are, you know, asking good questions, and, you know, like Hirsch G over here, you know, giving this sort of anecdote of how he nailed his AP exam and he's just killing it in college. Man, that's just, I love hearing that. That's really the biggest reason why I do this kind of stuff, is to interact with you guys. So, so thanks again. Hirsch G says, I'm actually now a chemical engineering graduate. Unfortunately, no job, but working on going to med school. Wow. That's interesting. That's quite a pivot, going from, you know, studying chemical engineering to applying for med school. Very interesting path. I mean, I like it, because like it seems like, you know, you would have a like a med school application that would really like jump off the page, because you have such a non-traditional path. You know, like a lot of people will do like biology pre-med, and, you know, lesser, like a much smaller group of people, like for instance, a couple of my classmates, when I was majoring in chemistry, they did chemistry major pre-med. There was a couple that I knew that was like they were chemistry majors pre-pharmacy. They were trying to get to pharmacy school, and I think they did, like, successfully. And I'm pretty sure they're actually practicing pharmacists now, making a shitload of money, more money than I make, that I can tell you. But I don't have any student debt. Maybe they do, maybe they don't. I don't know. I do know that pharmacy school and med school are both really, really freaking expensive. Yeah, there's like some of my classmates that went like pre-pharmacy, just, you know, like for sure, like they make like way more money than I do. But, you know, there's other ways of measuring success other than money. You know, like biologically, you know, your success is kind of based on the kids that you produce. And I got 2 beautiful little girls. One of them who's 2 years old. The other one, I can already tell she's going to be beautiful, because I've seen the ultrasound images, and she's already got a nice charm to her. She's got a nice smile. So anyway, so I'm doing all right. Not to brag, but you know, I'm kind of like in that middle ground between sort of, you know, success, like monetary, like making like okay money, but also like, you know, get to spend a lot of time with my family and, you know, enjoy time spent with them. That's the other thing too. I'm going to go ahead and read this chat message before I make my next point. It says, you helped me a lot during pre-med with chemistry. I'm starting med school next year, hopefully in the fall if I get in. Awesome. Very cool. A lot of pre-meds in here. It's funny because I was kind of talking shit about pre-meds in my last stream. I was talking about how they were, like, in general, of course, I'm not talking about all of them, plenty of exceptions to every rule, but in general, like my experience dealing with like pre-med students in my organic chemistry study groups is that like they were just so concerned about the grade, that was like where they were coming from, instead of, focusing on the actual, organic chemistry concepts. And another thing that I noticed about a lot of these pre-meds, I'm sure you guys probably don't fall into this category, or maybe you do. You're welcome to chime in, give some feedback. But another thing that I noticed with a lot of these sort of pre-med students was, not all of them, but a lot of them would be so nosy, and they're always comparing themselves to everybody else. What did you get on the test? What about you? What did you get on the test? Oh, I got an 85. What did you get? What did you get? They're like constantly like, trying to like play this like dick measuring game. Sorry, that may have been a little crude. I apologize. But they're constantly trying to play this like, am I better than you or not sort of game, with everybody. It's like, none of your freaking business what I got on the test. Like, focus on your own shit, man. I don't care. Like, I don't care, But again, not all pre-med students are like that, but a lot of them, in my experience, were like that. So anyway, so like earlier, before George Michael sent me that text, that message, thank you, by the way, George Michael, for that text. I really, really appreciate it. Before he sent me that, I was kind of talking about like, different ways to sort of measure success, and, talking about like money versus, or like career versus family and all that stuff. Obviously I stack up more on the family side of the equation, but, think about this though. If you think about this, time, like, if you think about like, what's the difference between time and money? A lot of people say time is money, but no, time is not money. Time is way, way more valuable than money. Why? Because, you lose some money, you can recoup it. You can take on some extra responsibility, maybe get more educated, provide more value to your employer to get paid more, maybe get like $3 worth of super chats within a 56-minute stream. Which is actually pretty good. It's more than I expected. I didn't expect any super chats at all. By the way, I'll go ahead and reiterate that one more time. I have now enabled super chats. You're welcome to send one if you want. That would be wholesomely appreciated. But time is different from money, because money you can recoup. You can do things to earn more money and replenish what you lost, but you can't do that with time. Once time is gone, it is forever gone. You never get it back. So I really think that you should appreciate your time while you have it, That was deep. George Michael says, pre-med culture is like that, not gonna lie. Yeah, it's super competitive. I've seen it with my own two eyes. And, again, not to say that like every student, not to say that every single pre-med student is like super competitive, and is always comparing themselves to everybody and stuff like that. Lots of exceptions, but in general, yeah, pre-med culture, like pre-meds in general, they're always super competitive. They're always super nosy. Like, instead of just focusing on what they can do better, they're always trying to like, see how they stack up against everybody else. And, in reality, like, I think, you can improve yourself, like you can do well, but you can also like not be so competitive against others. Like, you can build each other up. You can actually improve. That's the whole point of study groups. Like, the whole point of study groups is to like help each other. It's not to like, get out ahead of the curve. It's to like help each other, like, collaborate. It doesn't have to be a competition. That shit's all in your head. I mean, maybe not really, because I understand like there's only like a certain amount of like medical students that get let into every program, each year. So like I understand it's competitive on some level, but not every little aspect of being a pre-med student, or any student at all for that matter, has to be super competitive. You can celebrate the success of others. You can, have a mutually beneficial arrangement, which is what I think a study group is. Let's see. Hi, would you like to be Achu in here? Achu is a returning viewer of the stream. Thank you for coming back, Achu. You are the man. He says, hi, would you like to be unaging, i.e. have unlimited time? Oh man, I don't know about that. I don't know, like that's an interesting question, kind of, but like, it's just not, like there's no way that could happen. So, I don't really, that's not even like a hypothetical question. That's just like a completely unrealistic question. It's like, would you like to be able to, turn into a pig and fly 10 times around the planet within 5 seconds? It's like, yeah, I would, but I don't see, how discussing that topic really like adds anything to any discuss. I'm sorry. I'm not trying to talk shit. It's an interesting question, but yeah. I mean, I like the. I mean, that would be cool to be in a position where I don't die, but you know, not gonna happen, man. Everybody dies. You know, unlimited time. I don't know. I don't know. Probably not actually. I mean, I think I need. You know, I don't think I want. I don't want to live forever. I think I want to die at some point. Sounds kind of weird, but yeah. George Michael says, "Do you ever think about how the future will look in the next century?" I do think about that occasionally. Occasionally, I think about that. You know, and I think about it more now than I'm a father than I have in the past before I became a father. You know, because like, you know, once you have kids, you know, and especially when they grow up and have kids, it's like, okay, like now you've got like a skin in the game. You know, like you actually have a reason to give a shit about where things are going. You know, like where society's headed. You know, socially, economically, politically, for lack of a better term, you know, and yeah, I mean, so I do think about that sometimes, and unfortunately, when I think about that, I almost always go negative, like with my thoughts. I almost always think about how, man, you know, like it's hard, like there's going to be like an eventual, you know, economic collapse or totalitarian takeover of the country. You know, I mean, this country is only a couple of 100 years old, and it's already like so far away from what the, you know, from going, you know, like going against the Constitution, the founding documents, and things like that. So I do think about that kind of stuff, you know, and it's just it's not a pleasant experience to think about that kind of stuff. But I suppose I should be more fair and think about like, okay, well, what if like some really, you know, brilliant invention, you know, is invented? Like, what if, you know, they're able to like cure cancer, you know, really, really effectively by then? I mean, there's a lot of good things that have yet to come in the future too, but for some reason, I don't often think about them. I usually end up thinking about the negative stuff. Good question though. Before George Michael's question, Achu asked another question. He says, "Here's a realistic question: do you pump iron?" I'm assuming you mean, do I lift weights? I haven't lifted weights in quite a while. Actually, I got into this like guided workout thing on my TV. Like I have a Roku TV. I can do like these guided workouts, and I have these like adjustable Bowflex dumbbells. I haven't really lifted them in a while. I should probably hit the home gym more. I should definitely hit it more. You know, I haven't really done much exercise wise. But no, I don't really lift weights. I haven't done it in a while. I also have a couple of kettlebells. My heaviest kettlebell is a 35 pounder. 35 pounds doesn't sound a lot, but when you're swinging a 35 pound kettlebell, doing like, you know, 20, 30 reps at a time, that'll get you pretty winded, man. I tell you what. Also, I'm kind of lucky that my job isn't super sedentary. I stand a lot. I walk around a lot. You know, I'm constantly like, you know, reaching into a fume hood and building like an apparatus and stuff like that. I spend very, very little time at my desk. Most of my time spent, you know, in the labs walking around. You know, I'll have to go upstairs. There's this like upstairs room where a lot of our glassware is stored. So I have to like go up there to get a bunch of glassware, come back. Oh, and recently I've had to run this chromatography column, big chromatography column, using dichloromethane or methylene chloride as my eluting solvent or eluent. And so I'd have these like big 5-gallon containers full of methylene chloride, which is like much heavier than water. I think it's got a density of like 1.3 grams per milliliter, and water's density is only 1 gram per milliliter. So it's like 5-gallon, like I'll have like a 5-gallon container of methylene chloride in each hand, you know, walking from one building to another. And it's like, you know, it feels like a pretty decent workout. But George Michael asks, have you ever seen Black Mirror? I think that's a Netflix show, isn't it? No, I've never seen it. I think I've seen, like, you know how like when you're like the little thumbnail images, the little tiles that you know sort of scroll around when you're browsing around Netflix. I think I've seen the image of it, but I've never actually seen the show. Good question, I suppose. Yeah, I've never seen it. All right, folks, so I'm about an hour and 4.5 minutes in. I think I'm going to end the stream pretty soon because I need to get home. There's a dinner party, low-key, not a whole lot of people, so don't worry. I'm not, having this huge blowout party in the middle of the pandemic. So there's like a dinner get-together that I'm going to go to a little later, so I should probably get home to get ready for that, get my daughter ready and such. Just to sort of hammer in the two announcements that I sort of modeled this stream around. The first was I am now accepting super chats. So anybody who wants to super chat, for those of you who don't know what a super chat is, it's basically a chat message that you attach to a monetary donation. And when you send a super chat, it gets pinned in a nice, beautiful colored form to the top of the chat window, and it stays there for a duration of time that is proportional to the amount of money donated. I'm accepting those, so anybody who wants to, I would wholeheartedly appreciate it. Thank you so much. And the other announcement, more importantly in my opinion, is that I am gonna do my old school style of doing videos where I have a camera looking downward at my hands, and I will have like Sharpie markers or dry erase pens, this and that, talking the viewer through, doing things in one continuous single take. Hopefully I won't stutter too much. The idea is that my production period, the time that I spend making the videos, will be shorter because I don't have hardly any free time lately, so I can bang out videos. Like I still really want to provide chemistry content though, even though I'm super busy now and I'm going to be super busy in the near future with a newborn. But I still want to occasionally produce chemistry videos, so that is going to be how I do it for, for the next maybe a couple of months or so. Let me know what you think. Let me know any feedback that you have on any of my content. I definitely want to read it. If you're not already following me on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, I have links to all of those if you go to my YouTube channel page, youtube.com/BensChemVideos with no apostrophe. You will see a channel banner at the top. On the bottom right-hand corner of that channel banner is links, or is a list of links, are links to, it's been a long stream, what can I say? Not super good on the grammar right now. On the bottom right-hand corner of the channel banner at the top of my page, you'll find links to Facebook, Instagram, not YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and Discord. Jeez, I can't even get it out. So anybody who wants to follow me on those platforms, please feel free to do so. I really, really appreciate it. And yeah, just stay tuned. More content coming soon. Oh, George Michael sent me another super chat of $2. Thank you, George Michael. I really, really appreciate it, man. Certainly don't have to send another one, but thank you, thank you, thank you. Says, I just farted again and you're still the GOAT. Now, by GOAT, do you mean greatest of all time, or are you actually calling me a farm animal? The farm animal that like chews in a circle, like, you ever notice how goats do that? They'll like chew in a circular motion when they're chewing like hay or grass or whatever. That probably sounds really, really nasty on the mic. Sorry about that. But yeah, I don't know if you're actually calling me greatest of all time or a farm animal. In either case, I take it as a compliment. I think goats are kind of cool. So, all right, that is it for today. Thank you guys again so much for watching. And all right, stay tuned.